Richician!
Hey YouTube, Richician 84 here, and yeah, it was requested, and here it is, the ban list for Richician format. I'm less nervous about doing it now, considering me and Express Gaming did do that intro for his format on Team Sorcerers, which had mostly positive reactions, even though a ban list hasn't been posted for that yet. So yeah, this is the main way I'd prefer to play current format Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm still debating whether or not to come back to the minor league. But yeah, let's just go over it. So I've already explained the extra rules for it, so whoever goes first can draw, and the extra deck limit is 20. Of course, not everyone who plays has to go with 20, it's just something to help out Dark Magician and Elemental Hero players, really, and give them extra options to work with. Now, yeah, I know there are cards and decks that could take too much advantage of this, but I've already thought of that. Now, before I go over the list, I'm not trying to start a trend or anything of creating formats or anything, as there could end up being too many, which will just cause some confusion. Like, that's my fear. But yeah, I literally just made this for my fiancé, and my friends to basically play. Those who friends who have expressed interest, I've yet to send a list to. But yeah, I just created it because I'm just fed up of current format and just fed up of certain cards and decks and just don't want to deal with them anymore. Yeah, we have some. Well, I'll come back to the potential unbans and stuff in a minute, but yeah, we'll start with reverse order of how things are done. So yeah, as you can see, Butterfly Dagger Elmer is unbanned and unlimited, but yeah, there is a reason behind this. Solemn Strike has been semi-limited as well, because, well, Matt and Alison Welch did request that Solemn Judgment and Solemn Strike be limited. Judgment I'm happy to do. Not sure about Solemn Strike though. This was done, I guess, to stop comeback plays being ruined, really, or decrease the chances of it. Or at least that's the general gist that I got. But I don't really feel comfortable putting it to 1, so I think 2 would be fine, although if it's too much of a problem at 2, then I can put it... Sorry. We can put it to 1. And yeah, as you can see, Pot of Greed is something that I'm actually considering unbanning. I don't know. I mean, there is some debate about whether or not it could come back, but I am tempted to just try it out. And I'll explain Dark Paladin and Purdy in just a moment. Limited stuff. There's quite a few Burning Abyss and Phantom-like cards that are limited here. We've got Sir, Graf, Dante, Fogblade, Rusty Bardiche. Now don't get me wrong, I have nothing against these archetypes, but this was done because I don't really want PK Fire to be a thing. I mean, it still can be, but it's an OTK deck, so I'm just trying to think of ways to make it so that it can't OTK. And this was the best thing I could think of, along with putting Speedroid Teratop to 1. As I feel like putting it to 2 was a mistake personally, and I've also put it to 1 along with Core Turbo to try and nerf Speedroids, because they seem to be a bit too good under this format, so I'm just trying to slow them down a bit. And I've also tried to limit walking monster effect negates like Crystal Wing, Immortal Phoenix Gearfried, and Mythical Beast Jackal King. I wasn't sure about whether or not to outright ban them or not, but I'm just trying it out. Same with Gladiator Beast Domitanus. Now, this is there because, well, I actually didn't ban Gladiator Beasts from this format, and again, there is a reason behind it. But yeah, just in general, I'm just giving an idea of 2 of the main points of this format, and that is that we don't want OTK decks in this format, nor do we want lockdown decks of any kind, whether you consider it control or stun, because well, we don't want players to be in a position where they basically can't play the game. So that's the idea of it. Yeah, Archfiend and Barrier, they were done to put Infernities in check, because honestly, with Archfiend, Barrier, and what's it called, Launcher Limited, Infernities were perfectly fine. So yeah, Lightning Storm's been limited, as despite the drawback, it's a bit too good. Yeah, we don't. I don't know. It's just something I'm trying out. I mean, it is negotiable. Pot of Desires. Well, the reason behind limiting Pot of Desires was to put Gren Marju decks in check, because that can OTK. Well, I wanted to try and nerf it without just getting rid of such an iconic card. Same with Pot of Prosperity, because I know that can benefit too much from the 20 card extra deck limit, along with the fact that you get to choose what extra deck monsters you're banishing. Yeah, that's basically why I didn't touch Pot of Extravagance, because at least with Extravagance it's random. Soul Release, well, for the same purpose really, and we don't want any spite cards, just outright banishing people's favourite cards. And finally, Double X Saber Fault Troll, because I wanted to hit X Sabers, because like I said, all it ever does is OTK, hand loop, and use Beast to just shut spells down. In terms of main deck cards, that is the problem. So here, I wanted to do what Konami wouldn't do, put Fault Troll to 1. Now you might have noticed all the colours representing what kind of cards there are, but if you're wondering why there are cards highlighted in bright red, or normal red rather, that means it's a change that is locked in. I am absolutely not changing it. No matter how much someone begs me or guilt trips me, I'm not changing it. 'Cause near enough all of these, well, almost all the bright red cards I've highlighted are cards and decks that I hate and just don't want to deal with anymore. Now for the banned archetypes. So yeah, ABCs. Dragon Buster is just annoying. Cheap shot banish card, too easy to summon, dodges anything I try to do to it. Uh, it's just too infuriating. Altergeist. I mean, do I really need to explain about Altergeist? I mean, it's toxic as fuck. It plays too many negates and floodgates and disruptions. It just does too much to stop anyone from playing. Same with Amorphage, like a floodgate archetype. I mean, like, this is just horrible and infuriating to play against. And just defeats the whole point of the game, really. Ancient Gears, yeah, I know Ancient Gear fans will be disappointed. I know it's a fan favourite and people like Ancient Gear Golem, but like I said, all it ever does is OTK, whether it's through some bullshit with Chaos Giant or through combos involving Reactor Dragon, Gajiltron Dragon, Fortress, Gear Town, Catapults, that sort of thing. Oh yeah, that reminds me, speaking of machine OTK decks, that's why I put limiter removal to 1, because we don't want machine decks to be able to OTK that easily. Some are still around, obviously, but others have been straight up banned. Barrier statue, well, nobody likes barrier statues, and we don't want that to be a thing. Bee Troopers, again, it plays too many negates, including the counter trap, and Atlas is just near impossible to overcome. Yeah, it just annoyed me too much. Branded, oh yeah, one thing I should mention is that anything that's not highlighted in normal red is up for negotiation. I mean, it could be changed depending, but yeah, anything in pure red is not up for negotiation. Branded, well, nobody likes branded really. So yeah, I tried to get rid of all the meta archetypes. In fact, this is what I did with some of the list is partially copy the 2.5 and minor league ban list, because well, regarding Centurions, Diable Star, Exosister, King Sarcophagus, Menadium, Snake Eyes, Sun Avalon, they're archetypes that I'm not too familiar with, not gonna lie, but the way I see it, well, they must have been banned from those formats for a reason, and I did it to make it more appealing for anyone else who wants to give this a go. So that really explains that. But yeah, branded, well, nobody likes branded, and I know people don't want to deal with it, so yeah, it is what it is. Bestials can fuck right off. Yeah, because I'm sick and tired of having my light and dark monsters banished by Magnamut and Druis Worm. It's so infuriating. So yeah, it's more of a spite ban than anything. Counter Fairies, well, does what it says on the tin. And just to specify what exactly is being banned here, it's literally just all the fairy type monsters that mention a counter trap in the card description. That's literally it. Dark World, well, I can't stand Dark World. Does nothing but OTK and use the Grapha Fusion to negate my deck, basically. Um, I do strongly object to it being allowed in the Express Gaming format. Alright, yeah, the Grapha Fusion and Silver are banned, but it doesn't matter because it can still do its OTK bullshit with Grapha, Morphing Jar, and card destruction. Dogmatica, well, yeah, it's generally something that people get annoyed with, especially Maximus. I mean, I'm fed up of it milling cards from my extra deck. It's so annoying. Evil Swarms because, well, Ophion and Infestation Pandemic exist. I mean, decks that need high level monsters just auto lose to it, so that's gone. Evils, they're gone because their Xyzes just negate too much and do things that don't let anyone play. FAs, because, well, the Synchro Dawn Dragster is a dark bribe on legs. Dawn. Hang on Mac, I think, is basically a Dark Law. And then there's that one that forces me to pay 300 to activate a monster effect. Not to mention that the level modulating effects are just confusing. Exosisters, well, even though I've only encountered it once, it's hard to give any strong opinions, but yeah, it is an archetype that people don't like playing against, so that's that. Fire Kings, well, one of my epic elite decks. I mean, I personally don't have a problem with them, but I know, well, I guess for others they're just too annoying to deal with. Flunderies, do I really need to explain about Flunderies? It's toxic as fuck. Fright Furs, well, it's an OTK deck, that's all it ever does, don't want to deal with it. But notice how I just put the Fright Furs and not the Fluffle or Edge Imp monsters. Well, they can't really do much on their own, it's literally just the fusions that cause problems, so yeah, don't want to deal with them. Goatees, well, it's just too disruptive. They just do too many disruptive plays that literally don't let me play, and it's full of cheap shot banish cards. And yeah, they're gone. Gravekeepers, again, it does too many things that don't let me play. Royal Tribute, Necro Valley, Hidden Temples, Imperial Tomb, yeah, all of that can fuck right off. Herald, that's gone, mainly the rituals, because they're just cheap, easy auto-win cards. That does also include Herald of the Arclight, the Synchro, the Herald hand traps, just literally everything that says Herald. Horus, yeah, Horus and King Sarcophagus, just a bit too good. And this does include the Black Flame Dragons. Not that they've seen a lot of play, but there is a new annoying Horus the Black Flame Dragon monster. That's kind of good. Not to mention Horus level 8 is annoying. Infernobles, well, I'm not too knowledgeable with Infernobles, but I know that they seem to be something very annoying in competitive play. Don't know how much that's the case now with Assault gone, but yeah, it is what it is. Infernoids, well, it's an OTK deck with loads of cheap shot banish cards, just banishing stuff from the grave on my turn, and I refuse to deal with that anymore. Karakuri is another machine OTK deck, which is just Uh, yeah, annoying. Kashtira can fuck right off. I mean, do I really need to explain? Cosmo, yeah, I know it's another fan favourite, but everyone should know by now how much I despise Cosmo. Again, it does nothing but OTK, and the untargetable ships are near impossible to overcome. Um, like, if you destroy them, they just replace themselves. It's just infuriating. Labyrinth, well, again, it's another meta archetype that nobody likes. Lair of Darkness, yeah, that's basically gone. So basically anything that mentions lair, you know, the field spell, Diabolos, Lord of the Lair. Um, yeah, basically that deck. Yeah, it's just annoying having my monsters tributed and destroyed by the viruses. It's just annoyingly disruptive. Magispectors, yeah, they're just infuriating. Just monsters that you can't really do shit against, and the traps are just too disruptive. Um, Manadium, another meta archetype that I guess people don't like dealing with. Not that I'm knowledgeable about it, but I mean it is negotiable. Um, yeah, Marine Cess was banned on like either 2.5 or the minor league. I'm not quite sure why though, but if it's something that's not enjoyable, then sure it can be banned. But it is up for negotiation. Mermails I hate because again it also hand loops and OTKs, which is just infuriating. Monarchs are full of cheap removal cards, basically. Um, I mean, yeah, it's not an OTK deck, but it does have some lockdown plays, you know, with Domain and technically Riser, whether it's the original form or the Mega Monarch form. Yeah, it's just all of them are just cheap, easy win monsters that are too easy to bring out and can just get rid of something just like that. Um, and yeah, it's just not fun for anyone. Mutants, yeah, it's well again full of cheap shot banish card and plays too many negates, and it's just not enjoyable. Fuck this archetype. Enough said. Right, Numerons are another one. And yeah, I know um, Egyptian god players would be disappointed about this. Um, but the thing is, though, there are those who basically play it pure and use it for OTK purposes, and even use it with stuff like Lava Golem. Um, so yeah, it is technically an OTK archetype, and yeah, again, the whole point of this format is so we don't have to deal with OTK decks. I mean, yeah, you could get hero decks and Dark Magician decks that can win in one turn, but that's not the intention. That's just luck and an opportunity to win the duel, you know, which is completely different. Um, I mean, it is up for negotiation, but I, I just don't know. Um, I mean, you could argue and say, well, can't you just limit them all? Well, I don't think that would make any difference. So, yeah, it is what it is. Oh, and this does include number 100 Numeron Dragon, because, yeah, it is a Numeron card, which means in this format you can't use number 97 to bring it out and make it 9,000. Because yeah, it is an OTK strategy, so yeah, sorry Blue Eyes fans, like, or anyone else that plays rank 8 decks. Under this format you'll just have to do something else. Orcust, well, yeah, Orcust does too many annoying things. OTK and negate. Plunder Patrol, well, that's gone because, well, just like Goatees, it's just too disruptive. It plays so many disruptions that it gets to a point where you literally can't play, and it's annoying. Prank Kids, they're gone because that's another OTK archetype. Regardless of whether it can play Meow Mew or not, they're just annoying to play against, and I don't want to deal with them anymore. Prediction Princess is a random one, but Tarori is just infuriating, especially when combined with Pot of the Forbidden. And it just makes it near impossible to be able to play, unless you have Regeki or something. But just because there's an out doesn't mean you're guaranteed to see it. Psy-frames, yeah, well, they're just annoying to play against as well. It's full of annoying banish cards, plays too many negates. And yeah, this also means under this format you can't play Gamma and Driver. Yeah, Rescue Ace is another one of those that I'm not overly familiar with, but if it's something people don't like playing against, then yeah, that can go as well. Same with Rika. Ritual Beasts also are just also annoying to play against. They just take forever to play. It runs some annoying banish cards, and it does have a negate, even though it's not that easy to go into, but yeah, they're just not fun. Runic, I mean, do I really need to explain about Runic? That can fuck right off. Scareclaw is, well, it's another OTK archetype, and yeah, the link 3 just makes it difficult to play. And apparently it does play a couple of negation cards, but it's the negating that's annoying. Scrap, again, it's another OTK archetype. Yeah, it's just too easy to make a board of 2 twins and a scrap dragon, or vice versa. Factory just makes it too good. I'm not even joking. I have been gamed by that sort of field before, and it's just annoying. Sky Strikers, well, nobody likes Sky Strikers. I'm not sure how often it could OTK, but it does play too many disruptions. Widow Anchor is annoying. And so is Shark Cannon. Yeah, just don't want to deal with it. Snake Eye is just very oppressive, from what I've heard. Maybe I'll highlight that in normal red, I don't know. Sprite, again, it's another annoying OTK archetype, especially when it comes to Gigantic Sprite, just shutting down my Battle Fader and Spirit of Neos, and using Shadow Mosquito to get a cheap, easy win. Yeah, that was annoying. Don't know how anyone can say they're not that good anymore. they're still ridiculously strong in the meta. And like I said, Sun Avalon, not too knowledgeable about that. I mean, if people don't like playing against it, who am I to argue? Yeah, the Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon Xyzs, yeah, they can fuck right off, as I'm sick and tired of the OTK bullshit with Gustav Max and Juggernaut Liebe. So annoying. Yeah, Supreme Kings, yeah, they're a bit too strong. The new support makes them a bit too good, and just too overwhelming. Um, Especially when used in combination with the regular Pendulum Magicians. And ironically, this was also banned in the minor league, so can't have that anymore. Sword Soul, yeah, that can fuck right off. It's an OTK deck that plays too many negates. Tearlaments, yeah, that has some annoying OTK plays. Plus, I hate that fusion that negates an effect that special summons. Just fuck that. Time Lords, well, all it ever does is stall and burn using indestructible monsters, so technically it's a troll deck, and besides Exodia and Destiny board, we don't want troll decks in this format, so yeah, that's gone. Trap Tricks, yeah, that's not allowed because it does way too many things that don't let anyone play the game. And yeah, it's just too disruptive. So yeah, I'm not allowing it. Tri-Brigade, it's also an OTK archetype, plus I hate that Xyz that does a non-targeting banish. It's just too easy to bring out. Trickstars, yeah, they can fuck right off. All it ever does is OTK using Light Stage, Triple Lycrus, Triple Reincarnation, and even Dark Rune. Don't know how anyone can say it's too slow. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's meta relevant or not. It's still a toxic deck at the end of the day. True Draco, also annoyingly disruptive. Yeah, just does too much that stops the opponent playing. True Kings, yeah, they're full of cheap shot banish cards, especially Lyphosigem. I've shown a lot of disdain for Lyphosigem, fucking banishing my extra deck monsters. UAs, again, it does nothing but OTK and just lock my deck down. It just negates everything with Perfect Ace, Block Backer. It's annoying. Unchained, I've grown to just hate too much because it also plays a few too many negates and disruptions. Fuck that. Valkyries, yeah, it's an OTK deck full of cheap shot banish cards. Like, I hate that Mischief of the Time Goddess was made. Like, I'm sick of the bullshit with Ride of the Valkyries and Mischief. Oh, and Embrace is annoying as well. And so are the Goddesses. Alright, yeah, it can brick, and to be fair, it is one of the easiest hated decks to beat, but I still don't want to deal with them, god damn it. Voiceless Voice, that's a new one that's been added. Now, I've not encountered it, but I hear it's not nice to play against, and it does play too many negates, so who am I to argue with that? Wind Witch, yeah, that's full of annoying burn cards, and they're only ever used to build up to an indestructible Crystal Wing. And yeah, that is infuriating. Again, we don't want anyone stuck behind it. And Yusenju, well, That's gone because it's an OTK deck that runs annoying floodgates. Enough said. And now for the long ass list of banned cards. Yeah, access code talker. Well, that's gone because it's usually game over whenever it comes out. I mean, it's just too easy to bring out like in the right deck. And I mean, I don't hate it, but I know other people just get annoyed with it. It can gain a lot of attack, and you can't respond to any of its effects. And to be fair, it is also banned on the minor league list, and I think the 2.51 as well. So, yeah, it is what it is. Then I've also banned 2 of the Adamancipator synchros, and Dragite is just infuriating. Dark Bribe on legs. So, yeah, as you can tell, I've banned all the Dark Bribes on legs. Raptite is a cheap shot banish card as well. That's more of a spite ban than anything, but Dragite is gone for a good reason. Amano Awato, that just shuts down monster effects for a turn. Don't want that. Anti-spell fragrance, yeah, fuck this card, seriously. I've tried to get rid of all the commonly played floodgates as well, as we don't want those here as well. Appaloosa, Monster Negate is gone. Now I know what you're thinking, why is this banned but Crystal Wing, Dominatus, Jackal King and Phoenix Gearfried are allowed. Well, to be fair, these can only negate once per turn, and Appaloosa is ridiculously easy to bring out. And the effect isn't once per turn. I mean, I'd have been fine with it at 1, but I don't think that would make a difference, really. Yeah, it is what it is. Oh, and I forgot to point out that Destiny Hero Dominance is limited, because I kind of nerfed Destiny Heroes a bit. Tried to slow them down. Yeah, Christia, that's gone as well, because we don't want monsters that shut down special summons here. Especially Christia, because, yeah, 2800 beat stick, too easy to bring out, and if it gets destroyed, it just bounces to the top of the deck, ready to be used again later. Like, no thank you. And yeah, Ash Blossom is of course banned on this list, as I'm just so sick of seeing this card in almost every fucking deck I see. I mean, I don't care what you say to defend Ash Blossom, I'm sick and tired of it. I don't want to deal with it anymore. It just stops too many things, even to the point where it can end someone's turn. And again, just because there's ways around it doesn't mean you're always going to see them. So yeah, to hell with Ash. Awakening of the Sacred Beasts. I hit this and Cerulean Skyfire to nerf Sacred Beasts. These cards are the only reason why I hate them. Skyfire negates half my deck, while Awakening negates the other half and can become a macrocosmos. They're just too problematic, so yeah, get rid of those and Sacred Beasts are fine. Hence why I didn't ban those. In fact, you might have noticed that I didn't ban all of my hated decks on the other side, but there is a reason behind it. Bad reaction to Samochi. Yeah, I got rid of that because, again, I want to get rid of stally burn decks. We don't want them around, including bad reaction burn. Banisher of the Radiance, it's a walking macro, walking floodgate. We don't want those around, that can fuck off. yeah, Baron de Fleur, that's banned because it negates everything, and yeah, I banned every monster here that negates everything. Blackwing Full Armor Master, that's gone because I wanted to ban monsters that are unaffected by card effects, or at least most of them. Um, this was done really to appeal to those who hate those sorts of monsters. I mean, I personally don't have a problem with them, but obviously Express Gaming does. I mean, he's shown a lot of hate towards Full Armor Master and Ultimate Falcon, which I understand. Um, so yeah, so yeah, Express Gaming. I know I've hit some cards and decks that you like and you play on here, but just remember, when it comes to getting rid of Full Armor Master and Ultimate Falcon, I did that for you. Um, so yeah, Blackwing, under this format, Blackwings can't play it anymore. Blasting the Ruins, again, that's another hit for burn. Blaze Accelerator Reload, that's gone because I wanted to hit Volcanics. Yeah, that card just made me hate them. I mean, it's so annoying having it used on my turn and having multiple scattershot sent and wipe out my monsters when I'm trying to do something and doing lots of burn damage. Um, along with the fact that it can just easily use its secondary effect if I destroy it and send it to the grave. Yeah, Blazing Cortesia, I think that's part of the branded or Dogmatica archetypes, so yeah, that's gone. Blue Dragon Summoner, this one seems random, but if you but yeah, there was that YCS where an Exodia FTK deck, sorry, was played, which of course involved looping Celine and Blue Dragon Summoner to get all the pieces, and so yeah, we don't want FTK decks in this format as well, so I got rid of that just to specifically hit that deck. Book of Life, that's more of a spite ban when it comes to zombies. Cheap Shot Banish card. I mean, it's annoying when they get back one of their own monsters and then banish one of mine that I don't want to lose. And then I hit two Boral monsters. Boral End Dragon, because it's just too good and near impossible to overcome. I mean, yeah, there are ways to get around it, but not that many. So, yeah, I wanted to do something about that. Not necessarily to hit rockets, but Dragon Link, really. Because, yeah, I don't want Dragon Link to be a thing, but it shouldn't be, considering I got rid of Bestials, Baron, Boral End, and this one, Borreload Savage Dragon, one of my most hated synchros. Yeah, it's another negate of everything. We don't want them in the game, pretty much. Bottomless, that's a spite ban. It's one of my most hated traps of all time, and I wanted to get rid of it. Cauldron, that's to hit burn, so is Chain Energy and Chain Strike. Change of Heart, yeah, it's one of the most degenerate spells in the game, and it's just too sacky. it just it just steals games, but for a player who shouldn't really win, really. Um, Chaos Angel got rid of that. Again, it's an annoying cheap shot banish card, and it is banned on the minor league list. At least I think it is. Plus, I think 2.5. Chimera Tech Rampage is kind of random, but this was a hit to Cyber Dragon. It's just used and abused too much for OTK purposes, and I just wanted to neutralise them. Yeah, as you may have guessed, Cyber Dragon Infinity is also banned on here, because yeah, it's another negate of everything. Don't want to deal with them. So with these gone, Cyber Dragons should be fair and balanced again, and be more of a fan favourite GX archetype. Contrast Hero Chaos is a bit random, I know, but it is a negate of everything, so don't want that. Cosmic Blazar Dragon, same reason, a negate of everything. Yeah, it is allowed in the Express Gaming format, but I strongly object to this, considering it is a walking negate. Yeah, it's not easy to summon. Yes, it has to banish itself to do something, but doesn't matter. A negate is a negate. And I am not having them in this format. Plus, don't forget, Synchrons make Blazar, Quasar, and Shooting Majestic Star Dragon too easy to summon. So yeah, when it comes to trying to get rid of negates, I'm just relentless. Creature Swap, that was done to stop some OTK bullshit with Chaos Max. As I know, it's there's some annoying combos with it in Gusto as well, but it's mainly shenanigans with Chaos Max and Incantations. Now I know what someone's thinking. But it's alright, Shen's Spy can just be used instead. Already thought of that, as you'll see later. A Crystal Clear Wing Synchro Dragon, again, it's another Dark Bride on legs, don't want to deal with it. Chimera, Cyberdock Chimera is random, because this was banned on the minor league list. It wasn't stated why, but I think it was to stop some shenanigans with Power Bond. As one of the effects is that you, in the same turn you add it, you banish the materials from the graveyard to bring out a strong fusion, which makes sense, I suppose. And speaking of Cyberdarks, Cyberdark End Dragon is gone, as it's also a monster that's unaffected by card effects. And that's all I've done, really. I didn't ban Cyber Darkness Dragon, because, well, yeah, it is a negate, but to be fair, it can only do it once, because it has to send whatever's equipped to it to the graveyard. I feel like it would become too much of a problem if it gets used and abused too much with the continuous trap that either equips something to a Cyberdark or you unequip it to pop a card. So if that becomes too much of a problem, I'll have to do something about that. Cyber Stever's Worm. This is a bit random, I know, but it's a Dark Bribe on legs. I mean, yeah, it only works if there's a link for higher Cybers on the field, but it's just too problematic. DD Crow, that's more of a spite ban. It's a cheap shot banish card that just disrupts too many plays and just robs me of comebacks. I also hit DDDs as well, to try and slow them down, and just stop them from OTKing. But I wanted to get rid of the negates really, especially Cursed King Siegfried. That's technically a dark bribe on legs. Yeah, King Kalyuga is just a cold wave and heavy storm. Fuck that. And Wave King Caesar just stops effects that involve special summoning, which is infuriating. Yeah, Dark Paladin. Yeah, this is probably the biggest surprise considering it's one of my favourite fusions. Um, and also why it's on the potential unbans. Um, well, the reason behind this is because I got rid of two other spell negates, Maturia Beast and number 38 Hope Harbinger. As I don't want those cards in the game really, and I was just kind of worried that someone would give me shit for banning those and keeping Dark Paladin and have them go, oh, how come you can play Dark Paladin but I can't play Beast and Hope Harbinger? So this was only done really to get them off my back, although I think because it's a fan favourite and iconic card, I might be able to just unban it anyway, because it doesn't come out very often. I mean, it can only be used in one deck. It's not really the go-to fusion nowadays. Plus, I have to discard a card, which is a lot to give up, unlike milling two cards and doing it for free. Because yeah, with Beast, despite needing earth materials, it's too generic, too easy to summon. The effect isn't once per turn, and milling two cards is nothing to give up. Whereas Hope Harbinger, yeah, it is once per turn, but it does it for free, and again, it's just too generic. So I don't know. We'll see. Dark Room of Nightmare and Dark Snake Syndrome, yeah, just again, burn hate. Plus a few Dark Lord cards have been banned. Now, Dark Lord is something that I hate, partially because of Enchantment and Rebellion. They're just annoyingly disruptive, and Enchantment has robbed me of victory too many times, so this is more of a spite ban, whereas Refugule is gone because we don't want Nurse Burn to be a thing. Desynchro, that's gone because it's been used for too many FTK combos. And as you can see, I've banned the virus cards as well. As yeah, nobody likes dealing with them. Deck Devi, Eradicator, and Full Force, whether it's in Labyrinth or Lair of Darkness. Denko Saka, just annoying stun card, just hurts back row decks too much, so fuck that. And Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer, of course, is gone. Like, probably everyone's most hated hero in the game right now. I mean, I don't hate it, but I agree that creating it was a mistake. So that's gone. Dimension Shifter, another annoying hand trap that nobody wants to deal with. Dimensional Barrier, another stun card that I thought I should get rid of because it is banned on one of the other lists. Dimensional Fissure is gone because yeah, it's another floodgate that we don't want to deal with, and yeah, we don't want macro to be a thing. D-Prison, again, that's more of a spite ban than anything, because it's a cheap shot banish card. Doom King Boulder Rock, yeah, this is one of the sources of my hatred for Zombie Horde. So I didn't ban the whole deck. I feel like that would have caused confusion regarding what zombies can be played and what can't be. So I wanted to get rid of Doom King, as it is a negate and a cheap shot banish card which doesn't target, which makes no sense, and it just won't go away if it goes to the grave. So yeah, I don't want that to be a thing. Dragon Magia Master, that's the fusion of Blue Eyes monsters and a Chaos or Blackluster Soldier ritual. Yeah, we don't have it yet. Yes, the materials can make it hard to bring out, but again, a negate is a negate, and I don't want to deal with it. Dragon Maid Show, that's a hit to Dragon Maids, that's another negate of everything, don't want to deal with that. Droll and Lockbird, that's gone, because fuck annoying hand traps that don't let you play. Eater of Millions, that's an annoying cheap shot banish card, just don't want to deal with that, and it is also a hit to Gren Marju. And then we have Shekanaga and Winder, which is why I didn't ban Shadols. These are the problem cards when it comes to Shadols, and because yeah, Winder just makes a lot of synchro Xyz and link decks just auto lose, whereas Shek is just a walking skill drain, and I believe it's not once per turn as well. So, and it has a free chaos that not a lot can get over. So yeah, they're gone. And yeah, here's the reason why I didn't ban Endymion, as in the deck. Yeah, Endymion, the Mighty Master of Magic, is banned on this list as well. This format, I should say. I apologise to Endymion fans, especially Weber's 5, if they were considering giving this a go. Like, I know it's like your favourite deck and the ace monster, but you know, not everyone likes Endymion. I mean, it's an OTK enabler and a dark bribe on legs, and it's one of those cards that people are just fed up of and just don't want to deal with anymore. I mean, the deck as a whole can still be played, it just can't play this card, and it does already have a boss monster, to be fair, Endymion the Master Magician. Yeah, it's not as strong, but at least it's fair and balanced. But yeah, either way, it's nothing personal, I promise you that, but yeah, it's just one of those cards that sucks all the fun, life and joy out of the game. Enlightenment Dragon, that's the Light Sworn fusion, because it's a card that just banishes the entire field as far as I'm aware, and it's too easy to bring out. I'm like, oh hell no, don't want to deal with that. Evenly Matched is gone. I mean, it is banned on the other list, so yeah, makes sense. And here's why I didn't hit Pearly, another meta archetype. I wanted to find a way to get rid of the problem cards, but still have it playable, so that Emma can maybe play Pearlies under this format. Noir is the one that's unaffected by stuff. It has 5 or more, which is usually the case. Beauty, I believe, attaches just anything to it. If it has, what is it, Pretty Memory? which apparently is something very annoying. Um, I don't know, I'm just experimenting. Of course, it might be easier just to ban Pearlies entirely from this format. Um, yeah, Fairy Tale Luna, that's just an annoyingly disruptive card. It's just been an infuriating pain in the arse. Just bouncing monsters at any point, literally, and just in most cases not being able to, especially when it comes to cards that are limited. Fallen of Albaz, yeah, that's part of the branded archetype, and nobody likes branded. Final Countdown, that's gone, because again, we don't want troll decks, apart from Exodia and Destiny board. Final Flame, Burn Hit, Droplets. I'm not quite sure about this one. It was banned on the minor league and maybe 2.5, but I did that just to make it more appealing. Fossil Diner, that's gone because it's another monster that shuts down special summons. Galaxy Eyes Afterglow Dragon is a random one, I know, but I got rid of it because it makes it too easy for Galaxy Photon to be able to OTK. Yeah, that's just not fun for anyone, to be honest. So I did it to try and make it so that galaxies can't OTK. Gamma Seal, yeah, I banned one kaiju. I banned this one because, well, it's a negate, and not only does it negate, it negates and banishes, which is annoying. Alright, yes, I have used the card many times, but I only used it to get rid of annoying monsters, as I've never played kaiju, so I've not played Waterfront or anything else that takes kaiju counters. But yeah, because kaijus are fine to play, I didn't want them to have their negate. So that's why I got rid of it. Gate Guardian of Wind and Water, that's banned because it's a Dark Bribe on legs. Gem Knight Lady Lapis Lazuli, that was the problem card when it came to Gem Knights. Yeah, it was just too easy to use this for OTK purposes. It was just so annoying. I mean, banning Brilliant Fusion and limiting Master Diamond just did nothing. So, yeah, had to go. And for some reason, I've written Geomathmech Final Sigma twice. There we go. Yeah, that's another monster that's unaffected by card effects. So I wanted to get rid of that. Hang on, there's a change on here that should be here. I can't spell. There we go. And yeah, here's why I didn't ban Gladiator Beasts outright. I got rid of the two cards that made my life a misery in the matchup. Heraklinos and War Chariot are gone, because using these cards to just negate everything is literally all they ever do, and it's so infuriating. And yeah, although War Chariot is a monster effect negates that can only do it one time, it does keep being recycled off a quest, so yeah, I just didn't want Glads to do things that don't let anyone play anymore. That's why it's gone. Goblin Thief, I mean, it's another generic burn card that I wanted to get rid of. Um, Go keys. I just well, I've expressed hatred for Go keys because it's used for OTK bullshit with power load ogre and finishing move. Not to mention that power load as a link summoned monster is unaffected by card effects. Giant ogre just negates effects that target. Alright, yeah, it doesn't negate everything, but it's just so infuriating, especially when I'm playing Dark Magician and it just renders things like Circle, Big Eye useless. Gozen Match, generic floodgates, same with Super Ancient Organism, can't have those. Guardian Chimera, yeah, that was banned on the minor league. Can't remember about 2.5. Um, uh, um, yeah, I guess it's too much of a problematic card to deal with. I'm not sure. Shame, really, because I was thinking about playing this in my cat deck. Uh, Maybe there's room for negotiation there. Yeah, Harpy's Feather Duster. I got rid of it because, again, it's one of the most degenerate spells in the game. And back row decks just auto lose to it. Especially Dark Magician. I know they're safe if Dragon Knight comes out, but like I keep saying, I can't always bring it out. And if my back row keeps getting wiped, then it's just hard to win, or at least make a comeback. Yeah, not to mention I hate it when Express Gaming top decks it and just wipes out my back row just like that when I play Dark Magician. But yeah, look at it. Only wipes out the opponent's back row, and it has no cost and no drawback. I mean, how is that even fair? If it was errata to say activate only while you control Harpy Lady or Harpy Lady Sisters, then it would have been perfectly fine. But no. I also banned a Harpy's Feather Storm as well, because it's an annoying stun card. Yeah, it only works with wind-winged beasts, but it's still infuriating. I mean, sure, it can't be used with Flunderies under this list, but it can still be used with similar types of decks like Harpies. Yeah, just don't want to deal with them. Two Red Dragon Archfiend monsters are also banned on here. Abyss, as well, again, it's a walking negate of everything, or at least everything on the field, but still a negate. I hate it. I don't want to deal with it anymore. And King Calamity, well, I understand that nobody likes King Calamity and wants it gone. So, yeah, that was done for the appeal. And I also hit a Red Eyes card, which might seem surprising. Inferno Fire Blast. Because, yeah, there is that FTK variant of Red Eyes that was floating about. I mean, you could argue that it's not a consistent one, but it can be done, and that actually was done to me once. So, yeah, I had to get rid of it because, again, we don't want FTK decks to be a thing here. The Border, that's too much of a stun card. We don't want stun cards. Imperial Magnum, well, it's a negate of everything, don't want that. And I hit 3 invoked monsters, rather than just ban the archetype outright. Orgades because it's disruptive as fuck, Elysium because it's a cheap shot banish card of every monster. Sure, it has to share an archetype, but it doesn't matter considering it can change its attribute. And then, of course, there's the main problem, Mechaba, a negate of everything. So I had to get rid of these because I'm just sick and tired of all three of these monsters, especially Mechaba. Just don't want to deal with them anymore. So yeah, invoked players can still normal summon Alistair and do things, they just can't make their degenerate fusions. Jalgun, that's gone because, again, it's a monster that shuts down special summons, and we don't want to deal with that. Just Desserts, generic burn, don't want to deal with that. Corruptor Ibli, just too much of an annoying lockdown card that shuts down special summons except links. I mean, sure, if you're playing a link deck it doesn't hurt you, but not every deck plays links, and it just gets to a point where you literally can't play if this is dropped on your side. So yeah, to hell with this card. And yeah, and of course Shen is gone, Dark Bribe on legs, which is why I didn't outright ban 6 Samurais. So 6 Samurais can still be played, but just not allowed to play Shen and Naturia Beast anymore. Light Ray Gearfried, the only Light Ray that I hate, because again, it's a walking negate. Live Twin Sunny Snitch, it's an annoying burn card. Sure, it only does it if I summon something, but it's still infuriating. Lost World, because, well, I wanted to hit dinosaurs, because this, the Phosagem and Ultimate Conductor just make the deck too annoying and near impossible to beat, and just renders targeting effects useless. So I just had to nerf it. And here's why I didn't ban Lunar Lights. I also spelt this completely wrong. So there we go. Yeah, Leo Dancer, it's just an OTK card with fuck all weaknesses. I mean, sure, it can still be stopped by the likes of Storming, Mirror Force and Drowning, but not every deck has those, and it's just not easy to overcome. And like I said, it's just used too much for OTK purposes, and Kaleido Chick is just used in combination with it. Just banishing it means I can't do anything to defend myself and stop the opponent OTKing me. Yeah, that's been done way too many times in the past, and it's so annoying. I mean, yeah, it has been argued that Blue Cat can be used with them, but doesn't matter. I mean, considering it also wipes out, Leo Dancer wipes out special summoned monsters if it destroys a monster, and just attacks twice, especially if there's more than one of it, or just other Lunar Light monsters. I hate it. I mean, I was thinking about just leaving Kaleido Chick, but then I thought, well, actually, it might be used and abused too much with Saber Dancer or Panther Dancer. So I thought, nah, screw this, just get rid of these, and Lunar Lights are fine. Macro, like I said, I wanted to get rid of Macro. Don't want that to be a thing, especially since it is mainly used for floodgate purposes. And these 3 Magical Musket cards I wanted to get rid of because Magical Muskets are annoying. It plays too many negates. I mean, Dancing Needle is a cheap shot banish card from what I've read, whereas the other 2 cards just make them impossible to stop. And because they can be activated from the hand, it's impossible to see them coming, and you can't counter them very easily. So yeah, had to do that rather than just outright ban them. Magician's Combination, another Dark Magician card that I banned, as yeah, it's a trap negate. That just negates everything, and it's just annoying. I mean, why do you think I don't play it myself? I mean, I don't want to play negates. I don't want to stop my opponent being able to play. And yeah, I also got rid of Dark Law because it's a walking macro, and just banishes from hand if I add something. Yeah, besides Contrast Hero Chaos, it's the only hero in the game that I absolutely hate. I mean, it's a walking floodgate. Graveyard decks just auto lose to it, and you know, we don't want those in this format. So yeah, it can't be played. Masquerade, that's the one that forces you to pay 600 to do something. I wanted to get rid of this because well, we don't want these sorts of cards in the game, basically. I mean, if you're like below 1,000 or I'm on 600, then it does get to a point where you literally can't play the game. And like I said, we don't want anyone to be in a position where they can't play, hence why I got rid of this, and why I got rid of Odd Eye's Gravity Dragon down here, and Red Eye's Flare Metal Dragon, because all three of them do pretty much the same thing. Meteor of Destruction, generic burn card we don't want to deal with. Mirror Jade, yeah. Nobody likes Mirror Jade, no one wants to deal with it. Do I need to say any more? Avian, that's a negate of everything. And it's not even being played in Mist Valleys. Like, well, it is, but it's not as easy to bring out as in a pendulum deck of some kind, like Odd Eyes or Pendulum Magician. So, had to get rid of it. Mistake, again, another generic floodgate that we don't want to deal with. As for Morphing Jar and Morphing Jar 2, well, we don't want Empty Jar to be a thing, which is an infamous deck out deck. That's the other kind of troll deck that we don't want in this format, so yeah, that's the only reason they're gone. Telephone, I'm not very knowledgeable about, but I hear that it's being used and abused for FTK purposes, so that's why it's there. Garuda is just annoyingly disruptive as fuck. It can just ruin someone's day just like that, by bouncing anything that gets summoned. It's just too infuriating. Ariel, another Shadol that I got rid of, cheap shot banish card. And then of course here are the hits to Naturias. Beast, I already explained about Beast earlier. Bamboo Shoot just negates half of someone's deck. Well, it's not even a negate, it just prevents the activation of spells and traps. So yeah, it's a walking floodgate, don't want to deal with it. Needleworm, because again, we don't want deck out decks. Unicorn and Trish, they're the most annoying Necros monsters. I mean, Trish is a cheap shot banish card that's too easy to summon. I mean, at least the original requires some effort, whereas Unicorn just stuns extra deck monsters too much. Naruto, Dark Bribe on legs, fuck that. Hope Harbinger, I already explained earlier. Bagusko is just used to stall for purposeless reasons. Um, yeah, it's one of those cards that just doesn't let you play, basically. I mean, sure, it doesn't stun spells and traps, but still, like, it's a, a very hated card. Crooked Crook, that's also a monster that's unaffected by card effects, even if it has to be the only monster. I mean, there are Exodia decks that play it, but yeah, that's why I got rid of it. Gravity I already explained, Pendulum Graph because it's a spell negate, and of course, yeah, obviously Odd Eye's Vortex Dragon just has to be here because it's a negate of everything. I've already ranted about Vortex enough times, that's all there is to say really. Ukazi, generic burn, don't want those. Overtext Squatless is a negate as well, even if it's not commonly used for it. It's mainly used to add the pill spells, but the fact that it's a negate just makes me like, nah, don't want this around. Poison of the Old Man, generic burn. Pretty Memory, that's the spell that makes it so that the Pearly Xyzs can attach anything on the field to an Xyz. So I'm just trying to really nerf Pearlies here and deal with the problem cards in there. Of course, alternatively, like I said, I might ban Pearlies outright. And yeah, as promised, Ultimate Falcon is banned on here as well, and so is Rising Rebellion Falcon, which is a bit worse, because it's also a monster that's unaffected by card effects, that's why it's banned. It does have a burn effect as well, but I can't remember what you do to burn, and I know it does have an effect that involves replacing its effect with another Raid Raptor Xyz's, but one thing I'm not sure about is whether or not, if it replaces the effect, does that mean it is affected by card effects? That's something I'm not sure about. So, in any case, I got rid of 2 of the boss monsters. Now, I didn't ban Final Fortress Falcon, of course. Yeah, it's also a monster that's unaffected by card effects, but it has to have a Raid Raptor monster attached to it as a material. Alright, yeah, I know that's always going to be the case with Raid Raptors, but I don't know, I don't really think it's as problematic as Ultimate Falcon, and I didn't want to get rid of every single boss monster the archetype had, otherwise I'm just left with Satellite Cannon Falcon, or Revolution Falcon and Revolution Falcon Air Raid, even though the Revolution Falcons are cool. And yet, obviously, Dragoon is not allowed on the under this format. So yeah, that's 3 Red Eyes cards that are banned on this list, and 3 Dark Magician cards actually. But yeah, nobody like. Some of us don't like Dragoon, some of us don't want to deal with it, so it is what it is. Rivalry generic Floodgate, had to get rid of it, and this is why I unbanned Butterfly Dagger Elmer, Royal Magical Library, because this card is the problem when it comes to FTK decks. I mean, why this hasn't been banned is beyond me. Like, it should have been banned years ago, because nobody likes FTK decks, no one wants to deal with them. So at least here, I'm willing to do what Konami won't do for some reason. SP Little Knight, I've not had any encounters with it, but from what I gather, it is annoying to deal with, and it is banned on the minor league list, so that's done to appeal. To others, secret barrel, secret blast, generic burn, don't want those. Secret village of the spellcasters, well, it's another floodgate. And here is Shen's spy. Yeah, I fought ahead here. Yeah, so I have got rid of this and creature swap just so Chaos Max can't do any OTK bullshit. Well, I suppose technically they can if they get out the Chaos Dragon alongside Chaos Max, but it does require a lot of resources. It depends how much of a problem that's going to be. And yeah, shooting Majestic and shooting Quasar, they're monsters that negate everything. Don't want to deal with them. So yeah, this of course will force any Synchron players who play under this list to basically do something other than drop a board of negates, because it's so annoying and boring. And skill drain, well, that's a generic floodgates, don't want that around. Snatch steal I got rid of for the same reason as change of heart, because it's a sacky card that just steals games just like that. Doesn't matter about the life point gain. I mean, if it can win you the duel, then that's not even gonna matter. So, yeah, it's one of the most degenerate spells ever made, and it had to go. And Solemn Warning, I just straight up banned because, well, just out of spite, really. I've been robbed of victory way too many times by that card, or robbed of a comeback. That's what it just does too much of. And 2,000 life points is nothing to give up, really. At least not early game. And Bone Tower, yeah, this was a hit to Mayakashi's, or should I say Bone Tower deck. I mean, spamming out those synchros and links while this is on the field and making me mill, it's so annoying, and it's such a cheap, dirty way to win. So that's why I got rid of it. Spell Canceller was, well, spell heavy decks auto lose to it, so don't want to deal with it. Double Agent, well, I don't hate spirals, but this card is really annoying and just makes it too easy for Super Agent to bypass my monsters, attack directly and do big damage. I mean, yeah, this can be countered by battle traps, I guess, but you're not always going to see those. Plus, Double Agent is impossible to get rid of. I mean, you can't tribute it, can't use this as an extra deck material, so there's literally no way to get rid of it. I mean, the only way I can think of is Dark Hole and maybe Cyber Valley. That's it. Fuck this card. Stardust Assault Mode. Yeah, that's a negate of everything. I also hit Tellarknights as well. Got rid of Traverter because fuck the Traverter loop. That wasn't fun. And Alpha, well, that's a card that negates everything. Don't want to deal with that. Although thinking about it, it seems questionable that this is banned but not barrier. I don't think I thought that through, to be honest. Oh well. Guru, got rid of Subterra Guru because don't want Guru control to be a thing. Summon Limit because, well, generic Floodgate. Superstar Slayer Typhon is, well, I've not experienced it, but it is a walking floodgate, from what I've heard. and it is banned on the minor league list, and I can't remember about 2.5, so yeah. Um, and Hyper Librarian, yeah, decided to ban it because, well, I knew that it would be a card that would take so much advantage of a 20 card extra deck limit. So yeah, I did think about that. So and as a result, I got rid of it. So yeah, this will also definitely force Synchron players to do something else. The Arrival Cybers at Ignista, that's gone because it's a monster that's unaffected by card effects. So yeah, sorry Ignista fans, if you play under this format you'll just have to do something else. But you can still play the other Link 5 and Link 6 monsters. Um, Phantom God Exodia Incarnate, well, despite its drawback, it is a negate, and yeah, we don't have it yet, but it's not something I want to deal with. The other upcoming Exodia support cards will be fine, just not this card. The Fabled Unicorn, again, it is a negate if both players have the same number of cards in hand. That doesn't always happen, but sometimes it can, and that would be infuriating. Plus, it's a bit too easy to summon. And Weather Painters, yeah, I don't like Weather Painters because Rainbow and Thundery Canvas exist. I mean, Thundery Canvas, it's just annoyingly disruptive, makes it so I can't get any attacks through, whereas Rainbow negates everything, and it's not once per turn. Yeah, screw this. Speaking of negates, that's also why Fear on King Regulus is gone. Yeah, it's just overused, too easy to bring out, and yeah, just don't want to deal with it. Plus, there can be only one generic Floodgate. Thunder King got rid of that for the same reason as Mistake. We just don't want floodgates, and yeah, decks that do lots of searching just auto lose to it. Thunder Short, generic burn, Time Pendulum Graph, it's just annoyingly disruptive. Yeah, this is another hit to Pendulum Magician, really. Totally arsehole, another Walking the Gates, Toll. Yeah, because we don't want Taxman Burn to be a thing. Topologic Zero Burrows, Cheap Shot Banish card. Totem Bird, Walking the Gates. I can't remember if it negates spells and traps or whether it's everything. Either way, it's not fun. Totem Pole seems really random, but I did see an FTK deck involving the Ancient Treasure cards plus the Adamancipators, and yeah, like I said, we don't want FTKs to be a thing, so that's why I got rid of it. Transaction Rollback, well, I've heard it, well, that it's too powerful a card. It's banned on the minor league list, so yeah, I did the same thing here. Tremendous Fire, generic burn, no one wants to deal with it. Trigate Wizard, because it's in the gate. Talents and Thrust, well, I only did that because it's banned on those other two ban lists, really. That's all there is to it. I mean, I'm not really sure I have a problem with them personally, but if other people don't want to deal with it, then so be it. I just realised it's getting dark. Okay, an Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, because it's the most annoying dinosaur monster in the game. Yeah, it's just hard to get rid of, really. I mean, yeah, Regeki and the Mirror Force traps can deal with it, but not everyone plays those, and there's no guarantee you'll draw them. Plus, it is banned on the minor league list, so yeah, unfortunately, dinosaurs will have to do something else. Vanity's Fiend and Ruler, they're monsters that shut down special summons, don't want those. Visa Starfrost, all the other decks it plays in are banned on here, and it is banned on the minor league list, so yeah, that's the only reason why that's there. Void Ogre, because it's a Dark Bribe on legs. Volcanic Emperor, oh boy, I've not encountered it, but I've seen it in action, and it's horrible. It does a lot of burn damage when something happens. Um, uh, yeah, and it's ridiculously easy to summon. So yeah, that's the only other hit to Volcanic, so I just try to neutralise it. Wandering Griffin Rider, because it's a negate of everything. Wave Motion Cannon, because it's a generic burn card. World Legacy Secrets, because yeah, it just causes too many infuriating problems in the Mech Knight matchup. And of course, I straight up banned Gothams, Double X Saber Gothams, because of its hand loop bullshit. I mean, to be fair, there are other big monsters X Sabers can make, just not this card. Now on the Express Gaming format, he wasn't willing to ban this and limit Fault Troll, but which again I object to, but still, I for one am not hesitant to just outright nerf X Sabers after all the bullshit it put me through in the past. Yatagarasu, well, it shouldn't have been unbanned in the first place, and there are still ways to make the Yatalock happen. Not as consistently as back in the day, but still, it can happen. And finally, Whiptail. It's more of a spite ban than anything. It's just a cheap shot banish card. Even though the actual problematic Zodiac cards did get straight up banned. And yeah, that is the whole list. Sorry this took so long. But yeah, like I said, potentially we could just outright ban Purdy and unban Dark Paladin and limit Solemn Strike, depending, and maybe bring back Pot of Greed just to try it out. And I'll probably just edit the list after every month, maybe, depending on how much this gets played. Oh, and if you're wondering about side decks, I'm not changing the side deck limit because I didn't want to make it overly complicated. Now I know there are changes that some people will probably object to, and they'll be like, oh, these changes are stupid, you can't ban this, you can't ban that, this is a really bad change. I can't play my favourite cards, I can't play my favourite decks. What can I play then? Well, the answer to that last question is literally anything else. And the other thing is, if you don't like anything about this format, just remember you don't have to play this way. I mean, it's that simple. I mean, you can just click away, completely disregard this format, and just go and play Yu-Gi-Oh! And enjoy playing Yu-Gi-Oh! The way you want to. I mean, after all, nobody is forcing you to play this way. I mean, I literally just made this format because, like I said, I'm fed up of the current format. I'm just fed up of Ash, Droll, and D-Shifter existing, and I'm just fed up of all the OTK, FTK, and Lockdown decks, plus the negates and the floodgates, and the disruptions that are so disruptive that they don't let you play. and yeah, I made this just so I can play the game without having to worry about any of that. See, not only did I create a large ban list, but I did a purge of absolute degeneracy. See, this is what Konami should be doing, in my personal opinion, but yeah, they can't make a good list to save their lives anymore, clearly. But yeah, that's the list. Thanks for watching, stay safe, and I'll see you later. Bye. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the Richician YouTube channel.